and then try to take your event. So you're not getting paid out.
All right, hello everyone. Welcome to another episode of Trading Bitcoin with your host Vays, coming to you live from St. Louis, Missouri. You can see where I am. I'm at Crypto World, which is a store that's opening in St. Charles, Missouri, just outside of St. Louis. Maybe what, a 15-minute drive?
Yeah, it's about that.
Yeah.
It's a good brick and mortar, show for getting into Bitcoin, education, everything. Pretty good.
Yeah, they got a big room in the back where they're going to be doing a crypto education, and yeah, really cool stuff. I'm going to show you guys around with the camera in a little bit. This is like a sleep pod, which they're going to tell you guys all about, which is awesome. But right now I'm with an awesome gentleman who does need to get going, so we're going to get him first for a very few words. This is Larry Connors, who's a radio host. I'm going to pull up his website. Larry Connors, USA, and tell us what kind of radio show you host.
Well, what it amounts to, we're on 1 to 3 in the St. Louis market, and of course, a lot of people can go to the site and they'll find a way to link up online. I have a lot of listeners all over, but primarily it's conservative, mix of independent, some liberal, 100% patriotic. That is the main thing.
Yep.
But I don't care about political stripes or different. We have all that differences. That's part of our nation. And rather than focus on our differences, let's find things we can agree on. And one thing we should be able to agree on is this country. It's the best country in the world. You know, that's what I push for.
Yeah, no, I agree. I was just doing an interview earlier on a different channel, and I was saying, so my family immigrated here from Soviet Russia.
Oh, yeah, I thought
it was in 1990.
Okay.
So I came here when I was young, grew up here. And my proudest day as an American was the only time I participated in a rally in a march was January 6th. I was there.
Oh, were you?
And I'm still getting a lot of shit for being there. People are like, FBI should come and arrest you for being there. I'm like,
and you were there just for the Trump rally.
I was there for the rally, yeah.
And then did you go into the Capitol?
I did not go into the Capitol.
But you didn't even know what's going on.
No, I knew what was going on.
Yeah.
I actually walked up to the Capitol early.
Right.
But instead of being right at the fence, like going through breaking the barrier, I had a good spot to record. I live streamed the breaking of the barrier, but I was there early enough to be right in the front of that, so I could have easily gone through the barrier. I could have easily gone in.
Well, there were a lot of them who went in. They just thought, well, it's open. They walked in. They didn't know. It was the guys that staged it. They might have thought they were being patriots. They weren't at that point. You don't assault our capital. You don't assault police. You know, as some of them are doing. You know, we still law and order. But most of the, as you said, most people never even went in, and some that went in, they didn't do anything. Just looking around. They didn't.
Right.
They didn't steal. Didn't deface. Didn't threaten anybody.
And the ones that did weren't even real Trump supporters at all.
No, I know. Many of them weren't. Yeah. They kind of threw it all in there.
Yeah.
That is exactly right. Well, I'm glad to hear. I've talked to several other people who've been there that, you know, they were kind of on the fringes. Sounds like you had a better position than any of them. Well, I like the fact that, you know, you recognize with this country coming from Russia.
Exactly. So we recognize. So what do you think? Are you guys covering, like, are you guys still covering what happened in the election? Are you guys covering
the election? I had Sidney Powell on a while back, you know, who was one of the attorneys.
Yes, I remember.
Yep. YouTube told me you put her on again. We're going to
shut you down.
You know, shut you down for a month. You do it again, we'll shut you down entirely. So I don't put her pieces up on YouTube. We just launched the YouTube channel. But what I did, well, like today, a lot of the focus now, the election's over. We need to look at what we go from here. That's the key point, and learn from it. But today, we're really watching Biden as he's apparently going to agree with the Taliban to be out by August 31, 6 days from now. We're not going to have all our Americans out of it. There's no way. I hope we have special ops forces doing it and looking.
Yeah, what's the latest on that? Because you're probably
latest is the French are sending some of their people out to the airport to pick up some of their personnel. I think Norwegians did that. British did. We haven't sent any of our troops out to the air base to go get Americans out.
Why do we have so many civilians there when they knew military was going to pull out?
Well, the timeline changed. Trump had told him we'll be out by May 1 if you follow these conditions. But then in January, when he's no longer president, the Taliban decided, what the hell, we don't have to follow this at all.
And that's what I said. What I said happened was on my show, the day after the election, I said that now the U.S. dollar can go into hyperinflation, and the reason is because why in the world would any world leader respect the U.S. president? Because they know what happened, and we know what happened. We know how he got elected, and we know he can't hold a conversation worth a damn. Why would the Taliban or anyone else like respect the U.S. presidency right now?
Well, you know, and the election aside,
that's the biggest tragedy.
well, I agree. And the election aside, and that was, you know, we can, you know, I agree, but
we can debate on the elections, right?
We got to look past
Let's
it.
look past
We
it.
got to plan for the future.
Yeah.
But you're right. The bigger thing is, and Harris isn't any. I mean, if Biden's out, Harris isn't going to be good for us.
Oh.
But right now, when he made the decision today, when I left the station, we were waiting on him to make a speech to explain and assure Americans we'll get everybody out of here. There is no way, and they won't tell us how many Americans. They say they couldn't tell us. I had a guy on yesterday, and every time you go into that country, you know you've been out of the country. You show passport. It's scanned. They know you're there. If you leave properly, it's scanned again. So they know, but they won't give us a number.
No, I mean,
because they're afraid that if they give a number and they don't have that many brought out, then we know they left America behind.
You know, that's the one thing about the Trump administration. He was so scrutinized.
Yeah.
He was probably the most transparent presidency ever.
Nobody can screw
And
up.
now Biden comes in, he can't even answer a single question.
And Hunter Biden and all of that ties with China and Russia and all the rest of that.
And look at the censorship that we're going through
Oh,
now. You can't even interview an expert.
Plus max mandates. Max mandate.
Don't
Because
get me
yesterday
started
with
on
the
that.
FDA, I know you had yesterday with the FDA. And
They didn't actually approve anything. They just extended the emergency authorization.
No, actually for Pfizer, they approved it for age 16 and up, so it's not full usage. But the other thing is, the others are waiting for it. But as soon as they had it, then first thing Biden does was say, now you companies, you should mandate to your employees that they get it, or you. Or
The White House don't do that. The White House don't mandate it. The White House doesn't mandate it. The CDC doesn't mandate it. The FDA doesn't mandate it. And none of the drug companies, Pfizer doesn't even mandate it. If you work at Pfizer, you don't have to take the vaccine.
Exactly right. Now, the other thing is, I'm not anti-vax. I think you should make your own decision, but I don't like being told.
I agree.
I mean, and
I'm becoming anti-vax now because now I don't trust them. I
well,
don't trust the others
well,
either
see, if you
anymore.
remember, the original anti-vaxxers were people like Biden and Harris because Trump was in office. Oh,
It's all political for them.
if Trump gets a medicine out, I will take it because it came from Trump.
Right.
See, it's all
Yeah,
politics.
it's all
That's-
politics.
What's good for America? That's what.
Same
Well, I'm
thing with
excited
us.
about you and your group, and I'm going to be checking in with
Thank
you.
you.
I want to thank you very much for your time.
Grab the mic.
You bet. Oh, I hit you like that. Okay. Thanks, bud. Thanks for it. I appreciate it.
Yeah, great radio show.
I'll
No,
get
we gotta connect. If you ever want like to talk Bitcoin on your radio show and how that can help freedom, I'm happy to
All right.
happy to jump on.
I'll go get Jeff, the proprietor.
grab
That's
Jeff.
who you need.
I was gonna grab Jeff. I'm gonna take a look at some charts. We got Mike as well. Let me glance at some charts because otherwise my audience is gonna kill me. And then we're gonna get a few more people in here. Man, my beard is really growing. I was no time to shave these days. Yeah, man, Missouri. I'm gonna take a look at a few charts. You have a seat, but feel free to mingle. I want to take 5-10 minutes, look at charts, and then we'll finish the chat.
Okay. Here, fill a hat. Thanks. I'll see you.
All right.
You guys have a good one.
Thanks, Larry.
All right, guys. Yeah, Larry's great.
Big Carl.
All right, hey guys, let's go look at some chats. Yep, that was Larry Connors, LarryConnorsUSA.com, and the radio station here in St. Louis. All right, let's look at some charts. The market dropped a little bit immediately following the release of Willie Woo's newsletter. I was at the airport and like, crap, Willie's coming out. And like, I saw the first sentence and I'm like, shit, okay. So I'm not gonna blame Willie Woo for dumping the market a few grand, but that was a perfectly timed newsletter. If you go to Willie Woo's Twitter profile, I'm sure he mentioned it. There were things he didn't like in the fundamental data. He released it, and like immediately after the market dropped, people are asking where I am. I'm at our Crypto World store, grand opening in St. Charles, Missouri, which is about 15 minutes outside of St. Louis. So I'm basically in St. Louis. Okay, let's go to the charts. Weekly chart. Weekly chart still looks fairly strong. This is probably not going to be the greatest of weeks, but it can still rebound by end of week. The MRI count is still bullish and is still strong. We're above all the moving averages, so there's really nothing bad going on with the weekly chart. The daily chart took a bit of a hit. Yesterday's candle was a bullish candle with a green star candle, indicating that everything is fine and rosy. We're already at 5:30 p.m. Eastern time. I'm not on Eastern time, but my laptop always is. And this is not a great candle. We can still rally up a little bit, but the probability of us maintaining the bullish MRI count is fairly low, And therefore, we're going to reset the count, but the weekly count will still be fine. The weekly count still has several weeks of upside. This may not be a bad thing. What this could mean is that we can start a brand new count for the MRI and top out at a higher level for the correction. So right now, I would not panic yet. But if tomorrow we start trading lower than today, then there could be a pullback in order. How bad is the pullback going to be? I am not expecting this pullback to go below the prior swing lows. And you can see the prior swing lows sitting at $44,500. So I expect this pullback to probably come down to around 46,000. We may be able to drop 2 more thousand, probably not. I am not exiting my positions. I am staying fully bullish because I still see this as continuation of the weekly trend with the MRI. So I am staying bullish in this market. 4-hour chart, not that interesting. I'm not going to cover it much. The 1-hour chart didn't quite make it to the moving average. Let's see if there was an MRI buy here. And there was. Look at that. So it did start to drop. The big drop candle was the red star candle, and we are rebounding right off of this MRI buy. So right now I am bullish for a 1 to 4 hour correction, which is probably ending, and then we got to reevaluate. If the price of Bitcoin falls below these lows at 48,000, I would then see a move down to approximately 46 or 46 and a half. Like I said, I'm not panicking yet. I am sticking with my bullish trades. Gold is holding strong for the week. I want to see it close above this trend line, and then I'd be more bullish on gold. What is this? Oil having a huge rebound here. Never quite made it to an MRI buy, but big moves on oil. I would be patient on oil. I wouldn't rush into anything yet. Still lower highs and lower lows. S&P 500, I am bullish on. And I know my friends said they had some amazing trades. I don't know if I'll have time to get to those because I want to interview some people, but I'll take 3 more minutes. I got one of my trades. Man, my friends did a nice home run with that one. I'll show it to you guys in a minute. That is still the S&P. And here's one of those trades. It's TCOM. No idea what this is, but this was a beautiful trade. That's a weekly chart. Here's the daily chart. This was off the weekly MRI buy right there. I think that was their entry. We've discussed this. This actually hit their target already, but I don't really see a big need to sell. So I'm not sure if they sold or not. Look at that weekly chart of the weekly MRI buy. This was one of the trades that they had. And the other one that they were telling me about was, what is this? What stock is that? BLL. No, I don't want to pull that one up. It doesn't. It's not open MRI. JMIA was another one. I know a couple of friends that put a lot of options on this. Let's see how they're doing. So far, so good. That's the weekly chart, and this is the daily chart. Beautiful MRI buy on the daily and weekly, and there were others. All right, guys. I'm gonna do some more interviews. Hey, we are coming to Dubai October 14 to 15. I'm wearing the shirt, Understanding Bitcoin. Also the financial summit for traders and hedge funds. check those out. I am off to BitBlock Boom next. Here out of St. Louis, I am headed to BitBlock Boom. The event is fully sold out. My friends are messaging me, asking me to see if I can get them tickets, and it's actually impossible even for myself. But if you're here in St. Charles, come down to Crypto World. It's on my calendar, so you can find it right. We're okay. So you can find it right there with the address and everything. All right, guys, I'm gonna stop the screen share, and I'm gonna move the camera over, and we're gonna talk to Jeff, one of the owners of Crypto World. Tell us about this place. Yeah, let's put this on.
Should I put it on?
Yeah, I got you. Boom.
All
Right, tell us about it.
Yeah, so Tones, thanks for having me on. But yeah, basically Crypto World was basically created to help educate people out there that aren't familiar with crypto. So we built this store, and you probably see in the back, we have not just merchandise, but we have miners out here, we have 3D printing services, we have NFT services. We also do, like I said, focus on education. So in the very back room back there, it's an educational classroom, and basically it's 10 to 12 students that we take at a time, and we teach anything from, the basics, crypto for dummies, crypto for kids. We teach a little bit about mining. We also teach about cold wallets, and just anything that could help the community, right? So one of my favorite quotes is, "Rising tide lifts all ships," and we feel like having this store around. We're hoping to have more of these stores, but we can educate people and have them make their decisions on their own in buying or investing in crypto. But yeah, so that's kind of why the store was created. We're very much passionate about crypto and Bitcoin, and we wanted to share our passion with the community, and so we offer classes online and also on site.
Yeah, so you guys are fairly Bitcoin, but I'm in the store, and you guys already seen the Doge and the Litecoin. Yeah, I thought it'd be a little more Bitcoin-y, but you guys are clearly open to everything around here.
Yeah, so I mean, you can tell that it is Bitcoin orange, so the theme is orange, so we wanted to keep that. So we are mostly crypto or Bitcoin, but we also understand that not everybody loves Bitcoin like we do. So we have some other coins that we sell merchandise on and things like that, but don't, it is definitely pro Bitcoin here.
Hey, how are you, sir?
Good, how are you?
Yep, we're doing interviews. All right, so okay, so I don't know if Gary's gonna come over, but tell me about the pod.
Yeah, so the pod over there to your right, it's another company that we have. Basically, it's a pod that focus mostly with kids with autism and PTSD. So inside the pod, you can change the light, you can change the temperature. It's got Alexa built in, it's got a TV in there. So we've done studies. The very first pod we sold was to a family. She found our pod in a home show, but the little girl, 13-year-old girl, had been sleeping in the closet for 8 years. So she's autistic and schizophrenic. So she saw the pod, and actually the local city here paid for most of it. And after being in the pod for a few days, she went from sleeping 4 hours to averaging 10 hours a night. So that was kind of an aha moment for us. So our president has 2 kids that has, both kids have autism, and it's helped them out. So we're the first company to really have the pods out to help autism, PTSD, and anybody with sensory deprivation. My son doesn't have autism, he's 6 years old, but we found that he sleeps a lot better with it because he can close it. It's enclosed and it's a private port, and he feels safe because kids that are 6, 7 years old, even younger, are scared of monsters and things under the bed, things like that. So yeah, it's definitely helped him sleep.
What's the website for the pod? Because I do want to plug it a little bit.
Yeah, so zpods.io.
Zpods?
Yep, .io.
I'll look it up first. This is it?
Yep.
All right, and now we're gonna do screen share on.
Yeah, so
hey
we have
guys,
yeah,
check this out. I'm actually curious how much one of these bad boys is. So this is what the pod looks like, and I mean, adults can enjoy it as well, but it's mostly for kids.
Yeah.
You guys gonna make an adult version?
Yes, we are. We're actually Q2 of next year. We're building them here in the USA, and so we're going to have pods that are a little bit bigger. It's going to be manufactured in Baxter, Minnesota, and so it's going to be, like I said, bigger and more features in the pod.
All right, very cool. So how much does one of these pods go for? I'm just really curious.
$4,000 is the retail price. Right now, we're working with insurance companies to help offset the cost. So you'll see these probably next year, insurance covering most of the pod.
Yeah, it looks absolutely amazing. So guys, check that out. Zpods for sleep.com. All right. Anything else? So I'm gonna just grab one or two more people here.
Yeah.
We gotta grab Mike from Bits Be Trippin'.
Definitely. Yeah. If you want to check out our website, it's going to be firstcryptoworld.com. So that way, if you want more information on
on the website, I have that here. So let's see where this takes me. Gotta take me somewhere. All right.
Yes, sir. So check us out, and then if you have questions, feel free to contact us through there.
Yep,
but yeah, I'll get Michael Carter right here for you.
Cool. Let me grab the mic. Yep, this is where I am right now. So if you are near St. Louis or St. Charles, Missouri, come out and say hi. We're gonna play a little bit of poker later. All right, let me look at your live chat, guys. Yeah, no, these pods are really cool, especially if you have kids. Like I said, kids with autism, I mean, this is what they're basically been built for, just to help them, sleep and give them a nice, safe place. All right, guys, I'm gonna go back to the charts. Someone wanted me to look at GameStop. I think it was GameStop or AMC, I don't remember. I'm gonna open up your live chat. I am fully shadow banned on Twitter. You cannot find me on Twitter. I am losing approximately 100 Twitter followers per day right now because no one can find me on Twitter. Hey, Bits Be Trippin'. Have a seat, man. All right, we'll look at charts in a minute. Not much to put that on, but it's all good. We'll make it work. All right. We'll run with. Move the camera over a little bit there. What's going on, everybody? We're on with Mike from Bits Be Tripping. Tell us about yourself a little bit.
Yeah, I've been in the space for quite a long time. One of the older channels out there. So made the channel in December of 2013 with the vision to help people get into mining and just understand mining, how mining works, be a self-sovereign individual and being able to mine. And just going through and educating people in space. I'm a kind of observe report type of channel. I have a large mining firm myself and with a partner, and we just try to make sure that we can get a lot of folks to get into this mining game. Done stuff with Compass where I'm helping them get some exposure out there and understanding. We're going to be doing a thing coming up here soon to let people see behind the scenes on that, make a visit out there, look at some of the facilities, looking at tackling the power stuff. People have a lot of confusion and questions on like ESG and stuff like that. Start getting down, showing energy mix, like with our firm is showing 60+% of it is renewable, and just trying to tackle all the different questions.
Yeah, there was an ESG thing today.
Yeah,
Michael Saylor is doing, I think it was like every Tuesday or something. I think it's today. It could be sometime this week. So we met at the mining event here in Missouri. Where you were at the mining event in Miami.
Miami
as well.
also, yeah.
So what's your view on the mining space? The biggest question is, what is a reasonable average price to mine a Bitcoin? I know it varies by country and by region, but just an average ballpark. Are we talking under 10K, closer to 20K?
Yeah, it's probably
40K?
closer to 20K right now. And I mean, why I'm hesitating is because with the mining drop in from stuff coming from China, it changed the yields a lot. And now we're back up to where it was prior because a lot of that equipment has moved, and there was also stuff that was coming out in batches anyways. But like in the channel, I cover a whole bunch of different mining. I cover GPU mining, people that can use like nice hash to mine other what you would call shit coins, and then change it over. They get paid in Bitcoin, right? So it's just another way to approach an ability to change hardware into cryptocurrency. It's just different alternative strategies there. But yeah, I mean, it's the mining space now that China's been, I would say, reduced out of the mix a little. It's starting to gain a lot more interest, I think, especially out here. I mean, the amount of people I've talked to today that have, came off saying, "Hey, I heard they're not mining as much in China now. It's not as, there's this concept that it was super centralized in China, and now that it's more decentralized because a lot of the miners have now moved out."
I have a different view on that.
Okay.
Want to talk to you about it. So most mining has left China, right?
Yeah, a majority. If they're doing it kind of against the rules.
So before that happened, so last year, what would you say? China controlled 40% of all the mining?
Well, based on the hash rate tells everything.
Right.
Hash rate tells everything, and it pulled back 58%. So now that could have been
really pulled back 58%. I thought it was just 25%.
No. I mean, if you look at the adjustment, and it's a rolling wave, right?
Yeah.
So
yeah.
like by the time we seen it, there was already stuff coming back online. So the strongest figure I saw was 58% based on what we've seen coming.
So that's the highest range.
That's
so
the highest
up to
range.
60. Realistically, closer to 50, probably, right?
It could be, yeah. I mean, because there was already stuff shipping. Because what the other part that we're not reconciling is the fact that a lot of miners that happen to be produced in China are shipping to other countries all the time, right? So there's batches coming out at the same time, which is also offsetting some of it. So yeah, I mean, if we just said for discussion 50%, that's a.
So here was my view, right? My view on it was that while the majority of the hash rate is in China, hash rate alone is not what makes Bitcoin decentralized. There's also coding. There's also coding effort. There's also nodes, and no one is running nodes in China. All the nodes are concentrated in the U.S. and Europe.
Yeah, it's all in
It's all in the West, mostly the U.S. With some in Europe, and most of the coding development also takes place in the U.S. And right now, most of mining is moving to the U.S. and
U.S., Lithuania.
Right, but a lot is moving to the U.S. So for me, mining being in China, even though the mining portion of Bitcoin had the majority in China, but I like the mining. It's like a hammer; it just does a job. It can't change the code, and it can't alter that. They tried to force a bigger block and they failed. So, but now I don't like it that there's too much concentration of Bitcoin stuff in the United States. Now there is way too much mining here. There's way too many developers. Most of the nodes, not to mention most of the Bitcoin. Now Bitcoin is fully proof of work. There's no proof of stake. The amount of Bitcoin doesn't matter. But I am very concerned about how much Bitcoin is controlled by U.S. regulated institutions. Gemini, Coinbase, Fidelity, the custodials, Grayscale, and soon a Bitcoin ETF, or 2 or 3. That is a large amount of Bitcoin. All of that is under the control of the U.S. government. And if the U.S. government falters which it's all headed. Like I think U.S. is headed for a split. I don't see. I can't see the United States being one country within a decade.
I look at it like so. I look at it the way the U.S. is stacked. This U.S. is stacked in layers, right? So obviously we have the judiciary branch and Senate, and when you look at and then the folks that do enforcement, and then you have states and then local municipalities. So the one thing, and I not to turn this into like a mass mandate type of thing either, but like the states can react in certain ways, and the states have had their incentives. The states that are supporting the Bitcoin mining have structured the incentive structures to where they're saying, "Hey, we're open for business. Come to us, and we will fight the regulatory fight." So I think that there's laws and there's structure. I think the U.S. right now is in discovery. They're trying to discover how do you adopt this mechanism, this structure, and then provide guidance. But then you got the states at the end of the day that's not going to wait for that, and they're going to act, right? And they are acting. So you got states like Washington, you got Wisconsin, you got Minnesota, states that are even New York, which is funny because like New York City, a completely different kind of concept where they have bit licenses and stuff. But upstates like, hey, we want miners, we have renewable energy up here, we want your business. So I think even if you had a separate regulatory environment that the feds are putting out, you would still have pushback from the state side. So you would always have this kind of lockup, as it were, on any kind of laws that would come out that are not rightly incentivized. And I think that's part and parcel what makes America kind of confusing to people sometimes, but also super great because we know that local constituents will go out there and fight for you. And if you talk to anybody down in Texas, Governor Abbott, that they're very pro the mining piece of it. So having that in a regulatory environment that seems a little dysfunctional sometimes, but allows enough separation to create strife between where you're not going to have tanks roll in and say, no, you do this, I think is a very positive thing. So if I was concerned that all of it would come to the U.S. because like there's a lot of money in the U.S. and there's a lot of people looking to get into mining and diversify their hedge against having also on the inception that piece and not have to buy it from a broker. When I talk to large investors, I'll reach out and I'm just like, hey, why am I not mining? Why don't I take a position in mining? And it will explain how mining works, right? Like how you're getting it from inception. You can see the network. It's very transparent, right? There's an incentive structure to do that. There's a deregulatory risk to do that. There's if you look at what Compass did with the IRA, to where people now can fund it out of an IRA and then the money goes back into an IRA. So now you have tax deference. So there's enough confusion in our midst with the way all the different conflicting laws work that I think it keeps it to where enough people will get enough education on it and then start to change tone. I think we've got a new administration, they're trying to figure it out. But I think there's enough soup in there to create enough environments within pockets of the U.S. to give us some version of hope there. And so that's why I always look at it, on the other flip side of it of like, okay, mechanically, like if something happened with the bill that was about to go through where they're going to change who was a broker, right? And that would have been a disaster, but it also would have took 2 years and it also would have been locked up in the court and people would have then had time to educate folks to say, this is why that's not a good idea. And it's anytime you see any kind of regulation starting to try to go to the protocol, it's kind of dead on arrival because it's like you don't go change the protocol. You already have a structure in place where people change extreme value. They already have structure of, you buy a car, you got to register it. You buy a house, you got to have a title, right? There's all the big toys in life already have structure around it. So trying to mess with the protocol to fit a narrative is not the right approach, right? So that's where I think that over time people will become educated on that. That's why I think stuff that we're doing, stuff to get people educated in the space. I know leadership, I know people watch our stuff. I have no doubt. They go there to understand the thread. And I think if we can poise it to say, this isn't what you should be touching and here's why, and give them a clear and concise alternative, I think then that will help push that right narrative to, say, this is a decentralized system that can coexist with a structure, but like when you start messing with the ether here of the way things work, like you start breaking things and people people are just going to up and leave and change, you know, where they want to go to have more freedoms. And you know, I think that message is here. And if anything, all of this type of event, thus being able to have these communications, help communicate that message.
All right, awesome. I do have one more question, not involving mining. So you've been in space since 2013. What has been your view on shitcoins? I don't know if you are pro, against, were you pro?
So I mine. So I only mine a handful of coins. So I mean, I do not. If anybody sees the channel, and sometimes I get a lot of crap for it because there's a lot of coins out there. But I've only. So in 2015, I started mining Ethereum. I mined Ethereum, Ethereum Classic, Ravencoin, Vertcoin, Purecoin, Peercoin. So Peer, remember that? Namecoin and Feathercoin. So I can count how many coins that I've mined.
Peercoin and Namecoin, that was 2014, and that's it. That was a long time ago.
Correct. I mean,
so what are you mining now? What's your breakdown like?
So right now we're split across 3 different coins, and we hedge some of that going into Bitcoin. So it's right now the farm is about 60% Ethereum, about 10% Ethereum Classic, and the rest in Ravencoin, with a couple of the mining rigs. So we're talking 14 GPUs.
You're not mining any Bitcoin right now.
No, so we take that and we convert that over to Bitcoin. Yeah. Well, so it's
all
a math
goes
problem.
back to Bitcoin.
So it's all a math problem. So like I was telling people are like, hey, why would I?
So you don't believe in that crap? You're just doing it to make money.
Well, I mean, I think that's what most people do with if you're going to spend if you're going to spend that much time and effort on it, it is what are you trying to do? So when we first started mining, it was to uphold the network, right? When you look at and we do have some Bitcoin miners, so I mean, it's not fair to say I'm not fully not mining Bitcoin, but all you're doing is you're upholding the security of a network, and you're compensating the token. That token happens to be worth money. Sometimes that money is at a higher rate of return for the piece of hardware you have than another token, right? So I think it's more of looking at it without the emotion of what the currency is. Whether I mean, like I'll give like Ravencoin. I like where Ravencoin's doing. I like their development. I like the concept that Ravencoin came up with. They forked Bitcoin. They created, they forked Bitcoin. They created an STO, stock traded options concept. They added IPFS in there. It has a functional use case that it's trying to achieve. So I'll mine Ravencoin for that. Ethereum, I think is towards the line on miners. So I think miners.
Yeah. So that's the other question I was going to ask you. So Ethereum is trying to eliminate their miners, and you're saying you're 60% mining Ethereum.
Yeah, but that Ethereum gets converted over to Bitcoin.
Right, but what happens when Vitalik pulls the plug?
Then that mining shifts over to another token.
But you don't think the miners are going to fork?
No, I don't think. I don't think they
They're
have.
just going to give it up.
No, I think what they have.
Plenty of other garbage they can mine and then convert to Bitcoin.
Yeah. So like example of.
I like that.
No, it's just a math problem. It's literally just a math problem, right? So Ravencoin right now is at 14 cents. If you take out Ravencoin's 5,000 coins per block, 1 minute block time, right? So literally a math problem.
Yeah, but you create so many coins, eventually that shit becomes worthless, and then everyone starts.
Well, no, so you have counterparties that purchase it, right? I mean, Grayscale took a position in a lot of different coins, right? I mean, so you have counterparties and you have functionality being built on them. So that's the same thing with like Ethereum. People are using Ethereum for DeFi and some of that game, right? But like it still generates a revenue stream from people. So can you tap those to grow your stack in Bitcoin or not? And take a mathematical approach to it. I mean, and then some of it is, do you believe in certain aspects of some of that development? So I'm not a full. I mean, I've been in Bitcoin for a long time, but I do. It's like sometimes I know when I'm sitting there talking like to you and a few of the others, it's like an AA meeting. Yes, I'm mining shitcoins. I've been mining shitcoin since 2014.
Yeah, that's the thing. Like I don't know. I don't really care that people mine. I honestly don't care if people mine that stuff to make more Bitcoin. I don't care if people trade the shitcoins to make more Bitcoin. What bothers me is the sheer promotion of shitcoins that they're actually going to lead to something positive in the future.
No, I think it's all in the stream of what it's doing. Like what does it actually provide? Does a 14-cent Ravencoin price denote its value of its output. I mean, do I use, so I've used the asset system a couple times, but I'm not a regular user of it as I would be like as Ethereum and like DeFi, or using something like Celsius to earn interest, right? Like certain aspects of it.
You don't really mess with the DeFi and yield farming stuff.
I did not mess with yield farming. I did have a couple liquidity positions, but that whole I was part of Thor chain, and then once you get rubbed a few times from that, it kind of just, you kind of learn a lesson.
If you stick around long enough, you'll get rubbed more than a few times.
Well, I mean, so exchanges have done that today too. So, I mean, if you had any in Mt. Gox, you learned that lesson. BTCE, you learned that lesson. Any in Mt. Gox? I had a little bit in Mt. Gox. That was, and then I had a lot more in BTCE. I had some in Cryptsy. Big Burn took all of my Dogecoin. So Dogecoin, and I had a lot of Feathercoin.
Millions in Dogecoin?
8.8 million Dogecoin.
Jeez, that almost went to $1 the other day.
I know, that was a sad. It was a sad. I actually have screenshots of that, which is pretty sad too. But it's yeah. So yeah, Dogecoin was a big hit on Dogecoin. But yeah, no, I've learned my lesson on not keeping things in exchanges, just because. I mean, I think that now there's a lot more regulatory framework. They have to do a lot of KYC and a lot more rigorous stuff. They have a better behavior of keeping things off hot wallets. Transaction malleability was fixed, at least Bitcoin side. I mean, there's been lessons learned, but at the expense of a lot of people, right? So it's
all right. And you're out here in St. Louis. This is straight up Trump country. Your views on the vaccines, the mask mandates, the elections, anything you want to say?
I mean, it hasn't been.
I'm gonna get banned sooner or later anyway, so I can say it on my channel, not your channel.
Yeah, no, I mean, I look at it as people are self-sovereign and they can make a choice, and like you gotta respect people's choice of making something and don't force people into stuff. So, I mean, from an aspect of that, I mean, and this where we're at here, I mean, I'm over in Illinois, so it was a lot more locked down. But Missouri act a lot like Texas, where they opened up stuff a lot earlier. But I think they just did, everybody did what they originally wanted. For 3 or 4 weeks, everybody was locked down, and then places started to open up. They tried to get that, burn it out, and numbers came down. They opened everything up, and then then all the numbers got messed up. And then the restrictions came back for less of a thing. So, I think it's one of those things that they're, I don't see them shutting down here. The Missouri, at least where we're at, the town council here voted it out. They were gonna lock down stuff, and then they voted it out. So it's just lucky to be in a part of the country that allows people to make a decision, versus being forced into something. So I'm pro decision. So, I'm not I'm not going to force that will on somebody else.
All right, awesome. Glad to hear it.
Yeah, for sure.
Thanks so much for jumping on. And, I'm gonna take one more. Yeah, I'm gonna take one more peek at the price, guys, and then maybe if someone else interesting walks by, we'll see if we can grab them. Other than that, it's been a longer stream than usual. Let's see what's going on with the price. Yeah, so we hit an MRI buy. I don't like the fact that it broke the MRI support line. That generally tends to accelerate the move down after the 1-4 candle correction. So right now, as I said a little while ago, as long as the price of Bitcoin stays above the lows 5 hours ago, we're okay. Once we go below those lows, I think a move down to 46 and a half is somewhat likely. All right, there were a couple of stocks you guys wanted me to glance at. I guess since I made you listen to some interviews, I can at least take a look at a couple of stocks. There was GM, and there was, I don't know what GRT is. And GME. Okay, so we got GME and we got GM. So GM, I think GM had a, oh yeah, look at that. Look at that beauty. GM on Friday. Not Friday, sorry, August 23rd. Today's August 24th. If I put that here, that means I saw a potential bullish trade on GM off of this gorgeous MRI buy reversal candle. And today GM is pumping, looks great. And it's on a weekly MRI buy. I must have discussed this somewhere. GM looks absolutely perfect textbook trade. I would already be setting a break-even stop, and hopefully it buys you a Lambo. At the least, I'm interested in GM going to about 55 bucks, where the MRI resistance is. Whoever took that trade, you've done well. And the other one is GME. GameStop. I have no idea what's going on with GameStop. Oh, this is insane. Guys, this is a failed company. I don't know what you want me to tell you. This is nuts. I don't know why this happened. It's a green star candle. It broke out above consolidation. There was a beautiful MRI daily buy. There was an MRI weekly buy. So if you were trading GM off the MRI, you've done well. Looks like it was earnings. I guess earnings call. It says 26, but it feels like earnings has reported early. A beautiful move off the MRI buy, and the daily MRI called the low, with the weekly MRI calling the full-blown breakout. Not much more I can say other than it's great. All right, guys, this is it. Please come out to Dubai to support Understanding Bitcoin, where we'll be teaching people how to, use privacy, how to set up their nodes, or why they should set up their nodes. There's also a trading event. The Financial Summit is taking place in Ras Al Khaimah, right near Dubai. So go ahead and come out to that. I am headed to BitBlock Boom. Oh, earlier today or yesterday, I don't remember anymore, I released an old video. I forgot all about it. I did an interview. Somebody interviewed me on August 24th. August 24th of this year. So this was, it was released August 24th. I don't remember when we did this video. This is old. This is either earlier this year or last year. I don't remember when. But you can see that I'm in the bunker, and I haven't used the bunker in a while. So this is an old video. I don't remember when it was filmed, but it's at least 5 or 6 months old. It was a video about my diet. Somebody wanted to interview me about the carnivore diet. So we did this video, the carnivore diet with Vays. So check it out if you're interested in knowing how I eat. We just released it today because it was just sitting on my channel in private mode, but so better late than ever, right? All right, that is it. Thank you all so much for watching. Keep an eye on my calendar. I am currently in St. Louis at Crypto World. I might hang out here tomorrow. Really cool guys and a bunch of poker players around here. And then I'm headed to Texas. All right. Thank you all so much for watching. If you want to support, check out. I have a private Q&A. I'll try to bring that tomorrow. Also, there's the on-demand videos and, of course, the MRI. All right, guys, I'm going to get back to entertaining and mingling, and I will see you all on the next one. Give you one more look around. That's the pod we were talking about earlier. It's ideally designed for kids with autism, but it's great for all kids. And yeah, they're having really good reports, great reviews on these pods. It's got a TV in there. It's got like lots of cool stuff in there. You can see there's lots of kids running around here too. No one wears a mask around here. This is great. Middle America potentially will save the world because they're the only ones that believe in freedom and not having some politicians tell them what to do. So thank you all for watching, guys, and see you all on the next one.